is something a little different. It's something we know he's good at, but is it good enough to beat the OG IO, Giannis?
They've definitely looked to go for something that's more early game centric. The last two drafts, they went for the Tidehunter, the TA, and a Jug, or Tidehunter, TA, and Lifestealer. Very slow paced draft. This time, they get their Chen. They've been very good with the Chen, as we saw them also playing it earlier on today. They're very good at playing aggressive and making moves around the map, either with GH playing a Tusk or GH playing Ursper. I feel like I always see them having one of these two combos with that Chen to make those moves around. And Bristleback too. This is a very early paced hero, as we see the Goo as well as the Spray get picked up at 1 and 2, and you are pretty much the strongest hero on the map when you have that. And we see them immediately set up with an aggro tri-lane. They have a Headdress on Kuroky for that extra health regen, and they really want to put the pressure to shut down Ana on the IO.
Let's see if they can do it. We saw some scary stats on the Ana IO low into this game. He is 19-1 in the last 20 games he's played. And of course, here at TI, 5-0. No one has been able to beat him. Liquid are going to have to see if they can do it in their last chance here.
No, this is the Goo that we're talking about, that really strong level 1. Well, they can actually go to dive him, though. He has a shield available, and they actually can. He doesn't have a salve on himself this time around, though, like he did in the last 2 games. And also, I believe with the carry IO, not every single time, but they did have an Elder Titan with it most of the times. That's where I feel like it helps a lot when you're playing into aggro lanes, because you cannot aggro tri-lane into an Elder Titan most of the time. So this time it's going to be a Batten who's not nearly as strong as that ET.
Oh, we'll see Liquid with that start, able to make sure that the creep wave meets underneath the tower so they can get them the creep equilibrium in their favor. Very interesting to watch some of these other lanes, see how Weeha can get off to a start against the topson mid Gyro. He should have a decent shot here, right, in this 1v1?
Yeah, he should be able to. He has higher base damage. Yeah. The thing about Gyrocopter is you have this godly animation. One of the best animations in the game is absolutely instant on range heroes, and you have missiles, and you have a Tiny who's going to constantly be throwing Weeha back into the tower.
That's a lot of hands there, and it all looks to add up. They drag him back. He's got the point in the win run, looking for the body blocks. jerax won't be able to quite get it entirely, but still able to get a good amount of damage done to Weeha in mid.
Has to be careful for that next toss back as jerax is going to go for it again.
He is. jerax going deep behind the tower, seeing if he had the control. Up he goes with the toss. Topson closing in. Win runs back online. As Weeha can hold his distance, but OG already getting incredibly aggressive in this middle lane.
It's the way they like to play with the jerax on the Tiny. Just run around, shut down the mid laner. Doesn't matter what hero it is, you're going to be able to just throw him every single time he walks up for a toss. Weeha gets his full salve off.
We're certainly seeing, though, down bottom, this tri-lane, it is able to bring these heroes down pretty low. Obviously, the question is if they can push them over the edge and get the kills, but the aggression certainly is there. And once the level 2s come out for the 3 members of Liquid, we'll see that pressure amped up even more. jerax is going to come down, help turn this duo into a tri-lane from OG as Kuro pops the Fairy Fire, won't save it. Miscall from N0tail, gets the kill. Now Ana's going to be the focus. Miracle and GH trying to get on top of him, but a quick body block from N0tail and a shield handed over to Ana will mean that Liquid cannot chase any further.
Just eyes on jerax, right? jerax is going to just move from lane to lane to lane, looking to just punish the aggressive tri-lane of Liquid, as they can't really respond too well. Chen, not really a hero that wants to be moving around TPing at all. It's GH who has to respond to any types of ganks that jerax does, and it doesn't feel nearly as good as an Ursper, and he's kind of limited on mana as well.
So it sort of talks about the mid, talks about the bottom. This top lane, 1v1, Seb versus Mind Control, the Timber versus the Omni. What do we expect from this matchup?
Haven't gotten to see this one too often, but I think that they're both going to just be able to farm. I think Seb might actually be able to bully Mind Control a bit, just because you don't have to worry too much about your regen. While on Mind Control, you have to worry about your mana sometimes. But I think they're both going to just end up trading farming, pulling creep waves and whatnot like that, so should be relatively even.
Well, definitely seeing, though, this pressure down bottom is continuing to make sure it's very hard for Ana to farm with the rolling onto N0tail. Liquid I'll take one out of the lane. Ana only being able to get 4 CS so far in this bottom lane. Already Liquid's change up in draft and different approach. It's looking so much better here in the first 3 minutes of Game 4.
Oh, for sure. 16 and 11 on Miracle, right? He's getting all these free last hits and denies.
They are running this bottom lane perfectly, keeping this tri-lane advantage.
Top is just manipulation of creep waves, because I think Mind Control is starting to realize that if he stays toe-to-toe versus the Timber, he's going to have some problems, so he's cutting the wave. Bottom. jerax is running over toward the area. He's only level 1 though, so still not having that stun available for the Tiny just yet to go for those toss back into the tower and stun plays. And it looks like they will be constantly burning the mana of N0tail with this Satyr Mind Stealer That is keeping him very low on mana.
For Liquid, obviously, the interest to keep this pressure on, and then they have to find objectives with it. Ana, as the IO, will have that comeback mechanic. Sort of once he hits the level 4, going into the jungle, using the spirits to farm those neutrals. So they've got to make as much as they can happen in this favorable lane setup that Liquid have. Another commitment on towards Ana, separating him from N0tail. He'll be able to tether himself back across. See if they can beat down through this overcharge. N0tail pops the stick charges, the spirits are out. Turn towards Miracle, but Mango's popped. He still has the mana to fight with. Another shield will hold them off.
It really is a pretty fun lane, though, coming out from OG, right? He's like, oh, I just heal the IO, and the IO heals me. So they're going to be able to always do that and be able to remove all those boost stacks off with the shield as well. It's actually a really clever lane coming out. And he's even maxing, or putting multiple points inside that miscoil for the health efficiency. He miscoils the IO and heals himself for even more because of that.
5-minute runes come up. And OG, they want to try and tackle this 3-on-3. N0tail doing his best to draw their attention away. The avalanche is out onto Miracle. jerax tries to chase the other, but Liquid, they'll be able to grab both of them. Taking the bouncy runes away. Only the one going the way of OG up top. As Liquid continuing to look like this different approach to the lanes is certainly the answer they've been looking for.
They're not killing them, though. They've only killed N0tail once because of how many stick charges they're getting fed down here. The Bristleback just constantly spamming the Quill, spamming the Goo. Everyone's sitting at like 10 stick charges every time they try to make an aggressive move. Now Miracle is up a bit far here.
jerax is going to be able to make sure that Miracle cannot make the smooth run up towards the top. Another shield's out for N0tail. He may be low, but he's more than safe. jerax with the toss-up. GH pops the stick charges. He's trying to escape. N0tail keeping on top of him. That Aphotic shield's going to pop soon. It may not even need to as GH is running. One more right click or a miscoil out. That'll do it. The shield pops. They get the kill. And it does fall, though. Liquid getting the trade.
Nice. He actually did not pop his magic one there. A bit too much damage coming out. I think the Alpha Wolf and the right click from the Chen caught him off guard how much it actually was there. But mid is the big one. These rotations from jerax from earlier, topson has over a full level advantage onto Weehaw now.
He's struggling.
34-13 to the 19-4. This animation and just getting that extra Wraith Band early really coming into play. And bottom.
Roll up for GH, but a great toss for jerax. Keeps Ana on top of the Earth Spirit. Spirits are out, though. So the damage looks like it may not be there unless they can keep the vision, and they can. Tossed in, stick charge pop, though. GH. He's got Miracle by his side. They won't be able to dive for him, and Liquid keep them all alive.
But, so they've done a good job bottom of making sure that Miracle's farm. topson, though, getting aggressive top onto mind control. They should be able to chase this one back. The counter out of mana. They popped the Shrine for some mana for the Timber, but mind control will be fine. Liquid being forced to use their bottom Shrine too, because the one thing that they're doing, they were putting pressure on and they were getting good farm, but the sustain that's actually coming out from this bottom lane is just too much for them mid here, as Ana is starting to get this farm built up to those 20 last hits.
The mid lane seems to be the focus for Liquid. They've left Miracle alone. They're trying to collapse in onto topson. He gets the cooldown off, but the Hellbear smashes in with the clap. Liquid making these moves around Kuro and his army. Getting the pressure on, catching out topson mid. Got to keep this tempo up. They're starting to really show that they have within them what OG's been bringing in the first 7 minutes of the last 2 games. They can match this tempo.
And look at Miracle, but down bottom, even pulling away these 2 heroes, even though they do have all their wand charges built up. Now it's up to 17 as well. He is pushing them away from the creep wave. That double sustain, though, coming into play.
Back to Mold's mid. Another collapse here from Liquid as they look to dive in on jerax. They get the kill. topson's going to look to try and turn, keep himself on top of Kuro. He has his army ready to tank some of the damage. topson is not going to be able to get this kill by the looks of it. Another one charge from Kuro keeps it back alive. The cooldown will be dropped, but Liquid, they can get themselves out of range of it.
They have so much damage in the mid lane right now for Liquid. With Weehaw rushing that Javelin build, he's able to actually punch back onto topson pretty hard there every time he does commit forward for a kill. Gives a lot of time to Seb, though, as they made that 4-man rotation earlier. Now he's all the way up to level 8. He's got the max reactive armor.
Same to be said, though, for mind control. We're seeing pretty much continuation of an even farm between these offlaners. They're both getting exactly the same amount out of this top half of the map. And so far, no one else has been interested in coming over and getting involved. Now, though, that will change. GH and kuroky, they're looking towards Seb. Gonna bring in Weehaw as well. Weehaw, the focus fire. Have they got the control? There's the rolling with the stun. Shackle shot follow up for Weehaw, along with the power shot. Will do it. Liquid making the maneuvers to put Seb's happy little time on that top lane to an end.
Great use of the Divine Favor there from kuroky to bring Weehaw around freely and saving his TP, so he can constantly move around the map if he has to respond to anything else. Very nice aggressive move, and that's the Javelin coming into play. Since it's magical damage, it's 100 bonus magical damage when you use that Focus Fire versus Timber. Who cares if he has 25 reactive armor stacks? They get themselves a decent amount of pressure on the tower too, getting it down to about 700 HP right now.
Seb's going to come back in, make sure that tower doesn't fall too early.
GH is already moving his way toward top. They don't have another Divine Favor to bring into the Wind Ranger.
I feel like it's a hard kill without that damage that Weehaw offers.
Feels like an impossible kill without Weehaw.
The three of them can only sort of sit to the side and watch as Seb farms the wave under the tower.
Yeah.
See what their intentions are with this move. 10-minute runes are going to come up. See if Liquid can keep a favorable hold of them this time. Mid lane's going to be the focus. TP's coming immediately, and he sheds the shackle off actually before the missile connects. He's able to turn right-click into jerax. He's tanking the tower too, jerax. Lines of the power tree. He's not going to be able to find it though. Doesn't get the angle, and jerax, he can continue to walk away. Liquid are chasing. Another power shot will be available in a second. Can Weehaw hit it? He's going to try. Not going to find it. jerax, he's got the position to TP out behind the trees and will make it back to safety, but Weehaw does live.
They waste so much of their time there, and even a TP to protect Weehaw. What does that mean? That's just the space. This is what OG wants to do, right? Allow Ana to catch back up after he had a little bit of a rough laning start and get the Dominator, and the Dominator is finished now at this 10-minute mark. So that is where you really start to get enabled quite a lot in the IO to make your moves around the map. But Liquid, they're trying to keep the pressure going. Don't let OG get away with that greed that they're trying to pull off right now. Try to get some tower damage. Every single time a tower is going to start getting pressured, though, you'll see this rotation by Seb. He wants to make sure they don't actually get any of these towers too early. He doesn't have many reactive stacks built up just yet, but he will be okay.
Mid lane Topson. You see a dive in from Weehaw. Weehaw tried to close in for the kill, but he didn't have the damage to bring Topson down. Topson was able to just drop the combos. Weehaw, he got in close range for that attempt.
And you got to be careful as well. Ana, he's jungling in the area, so he can just easily tether top. I don't know if you guys did the overcharge there, I didn't catch the end of it, but he can easily tether in and you can get a little bit of extra HP regen that comes into play.
Looking for jerax.
jerax again.
Committing with the magnetized, TPs will now start to come into play. Topson's here, jerax still alive. They're trying their best to hunt him down through the trees. He'll be able to toss back the Hellbait Smasher. Rocket's dropped to keep the magnetized going. They'll get the kill on jerax. See if they can find anything in return. OG Topson, he's on top of kuroky. GH, Weehaw joining the gang. They're surrounding Topson with a Divine Favor, bringing Weehaw in. Liquid, they're going to be able to get both of them. kuroky making these moves across the map, bringing in the team when required. Kuro, he's 3, 1, and 4. Every single one of these 7 kills has been down to Kuro and his map movements.
And his aggressive plays. They're not expecting these recalls. They're not expecting these Divine Favors at all every single time he's been able to set it up. And he's almost got a mech finished up on this Chen so early on. It's going to be a lot of burst heal. And like the draft panel mentioned, you look at Liquid's draft and they're really trying to set the tempo. They're trying to be aggressive, get early towers down with this Chen, with this Bristleback, and try to get an early Rosh and get that big advantage to take advantage of a carry IO. You have to try to take advantage of it somehow.
They're waiting there on the high ground. They'll immediately burst through the Aphotic Shield. No-Tail, he's trying to run. The Smasher's after him. No-Tail's got the backup of Ana. Mind Control's going to head in. Liquid, they're diving on forward. GH will be kept safe by the Heavenly Grace. Kuro may have dove a little too far this time. Will be surrounded. The 4 of them take down Kuro, put an end to his reign across the map. As OG responding in their numbers now in that middle lane, they won't let Liquid get away with this any longer.
They still, OG has a very strong way to fight, even in the early game. Even if they do have a greedy IO pick, it's what it provides you, especially when you have a Gyro. Gyro is all about that early fights, same thing with Tiny. And even Timbersaw, but Seb right now, we know he doesn't really want to show up except for the tower defenses. And he's also going to be matching that Chen, who's going to be an early mech. It's actually going to be a mech Timbersaw since they have IO. So this amount of sustain that could come out from OG pretty soon is going to be pretty hard for Liquid to deal with. As Seb, he actually jumps forward for GH.
Hey, Ghosty. Weeha's going to turn with the focus fire. Seb, of course, has got the max reactive armor. Thanks to that, Shackle won't latch. Seb, continue to back off. Chains out, back over the river. He's fine. Liquid will try and turn their attention towards Topson, but with No-Tail by his side, they cannot dive up to the high ground. Seb holding them back.
5 Liquid heroes in the mid lane. Trying to brawl again at the same time as last game. It's 13 minutes in, and there's 9 heroes or 8 heroes positioned around this area. They want to go for No-Tail, but he's got ulti.
Miracle's going to continue to chase this under the Titcher, and they will get it. Seb He's trying to turn. The missile is out on the Kuro. Does Seb have the burst? Not quite. Magnetizes out and Seb has to retreat. Shackle does latch Liquid. They've got the lockdown. They've got the roll forward. The kickback. They'll crush him. It's Liquid. They're diving again.
They want top.
They got a bit of a flavor of how OG was playing in these last two games, and they're saying we could do it too. Topson post the cooldown. They won't go too crazy. They'll let him live. They don't want to dive up towards the tier 3. They know TPs are coming in.
They have to make sure they're hitting the tower because the side lanes are being split push. Ana as well as jerax are actually pressuring these other two towers. And they're not even going to get this one here. It's down into deny range. OG might just be able to deny that mid tower if they choose to do so. Liquid with an overzealous dive there, not losing anybody, but the side lanes giving a lot to that Tiny as well as that IO. And we know the timing is all about just waiting for IO to get not only Aghanims, but get that level 15 talent. That's what OG wants.
He's diving in. Onto Kuro with the flak as well. Hand of God will not keep Chen alive today.
GH will not get TP'd out. jerax actually TP's in and gets the toss up in the exact timing.
OG's actually not done, as they are still hunting for action. Miracle the focus. Topson's got a DD. A power shot does come out. Lands on Topson.
Bit too aggressive there, but Topson will throw down the call down just to clear the
the Shackle actually reaches across the trees, but no tail. He's there with a shield. Topson goes for the TP out. The focus fire, but they have the damage. It's not enough. Topson save. Normally. A spray on the way out. Topson will escape. Liquid, it's 9-6 in their favor, but the net worth difference, it's pretty much even. As you say, sure, Liquid, they are bringing the aggression, finding the kills, but space is being given to those important members of OG.
Yeah, especially Ana. Halfway to that Aghanims already. Level 11 finished up. He's got the spirits applied slow, so he can fight as soon as he has that Aghanims, of course, with the talent, but the big one is that 15, that extra spirit hero damage that does come out. But yeah, look at this immediately. Seb now positioned up top. He wants to push the top tower as soon as Liquid is positioned in mid. And jerax already looking to set up down towards bottom lane. Liquid have to just get these towers. Have to get some type of map advantage here.
Once Ana has the Aghanims, things are going to start getting very tricky for Liquid when they turn up like this.
Yeah.
The spirits will be out.
Yeah, they have Bristle. That's a good thing, right? Bristle can be good versus the IO. If you can get on top of him, the goo. You don't have the highest armor traditionally on the IO, but he's versus an actual counter. Timbersaw, very good versus Bristle back at all stages.
Radiant structures are fortified.
It's just that farm game. OG.
Got mind control. Looking towards Seb up top, but it's hard really for these heroes without the shackle shot. Or GH getting a beautiful angle. It's very hard for them to kill Seb.
It's very hard for them to kill pretty much anybody if they don't have Weehawk. If they can catch some of the supports and running around by themselves, they can maybe pick them off, but they really need Weehawk for the damage. The rest of them do not really provide that at this point in the game versus what they're against. Magnetize can be good, but there's a lot of ways that they can deal with it. Not only with the tankiness of how they are, but also there's an advantage. We just remove it a lot of the times.
And Seb, he can just get away with this, pushing this wave into the tier 2 every single time, knowing that sure, if Liquid do come for him, it's going to be so many of their resources that it's probably going to be worth it for OG to have Seb positioned that aggressively and for him to draw that much attention towards him. Topson's getting space, Ana's getting space.
Look at that build by Topson. Diffusal gyrocopter.
Wait, what?
Diffusal? Gyrocopter.
Trace diffusal gyrocopter. Fancy that, Topson.
So
doing something I don't think I've ever seen this.
I mean, it's interesting because it's going to provide a lot of mana burn, which is going to be annoying for Liquid.
Okay.
It gives you a lot of agility and it gives you ways to run around and chase heroes down, I guess.
It's different. They've got the kill squad getting mobile again.
They can transition this into a Roche. DD rune on the Bristleback, they've got Pipe. Yeah, they can easily do this one with the Medallion as well. However, OG, they know what's going on. They can look to contest this as well. As do they have the Aghanims finished up? It's almost there for Ana. And they're pinging it. Now they're aware of it, but it looks like it's almost too low for them to contest with all this minus armor. Liquid will get away with this one.
And let's see what they can do with it. Aegis, Pipe, they have those early tools to start making moves. Start looking towards some of these tier 2 towers.
Ags is complete now on the IO. So Ags IO finished, and we're about to hit 20 minutes. So I'm assuming that OG's gonna buy the tome, give it to that IO so he gets the extra spirit damage. Liquid, they gotta group up and try to get something big here. They gotta catch out these backlines heroes. They really have to get on top of the IO with a nice shackle shot in for We had to focus fire him. They have the control and stun the IO.
Hunting for Anna. Won't quite find, but definitely, yeah, thinking about it, this diffusal blade, I see what you mean. It does make sense, right? There is, you look at what Miracle and Mind Control in particular.
They're completely dependent on their mana.
And they're dependent on the fights being drawn out, right?
Yeah.
They revel in situations where the fight continues. And sure, they can't kill them quickly necessarily, OG, but topson, he can burn, he's going to take their mana away, and they're going to be essentially sort of these useless, tanky targets on the front that OG can then ignore and look for the more volatile kills.
And he's acting as this like super frontliner. And Bristleback is a hero that if you don't have mana, you don't have damage. So if he's just going to be burning the Bristle, I can see it. You know, I can see it. And he's super farmed, and look how tanky he is. 2,000 HP on the gyro. There's going to be an MKB finish now for Weehaw, so his damage is going to be very high as Seb's getting slowed down. He's got greaves available, but he's getting burst.
I mean, they're bringing him low. He's got the shield. Now they'll be able to turn. Cooldowns drop down by topson. And here we have it. Miracle. His mana's gone. He's able to pop the stick, get it a fair bit of it back, and he's able to head back in, pushing OG back behind the racks. They're getting a good amount of damage onto this tier 3 tower. Liquid. They push on
IO. That spirit hero damage is there now. Ana gonna join the fray finally.
There we have it. Miracle's mana. It's pretty much entirely gone by topson's focus. He'll look towards GH. He's trying to off, but he can't get out. There's no mana. GH, he's dead. And now OG, they have that numbers advantage for this defense. They'll try and change the ball. Topson, the Rocket Barrage brings Miracle down. Then the Shackle turnaround. They're looking for Jerax. Jerax backing away. Topson focusing Miracle. Miracle's still out of mana because of this diffusion. Jerax, he's able to cover. The GA is out. Weehaw will fall though. The magic damage is there for Topson. Miracle's trying to run. Another stick charge pop, but Jerax can shut him off. In fact, Jerax, he's ready to try and look for more potentially. There's only the once.
They go for the back line.
Topson, he's on top of Kuro. Another cooldown's there. The toss back into the combo. Jerax has the control. They're all getting picked apart as Mind Control falls. Miracle is surrounded.
And they're all dead.
able to get this as well. OG, they will hold.
And they're even taunting. They toss him to the dragon. Holy crap. Topson, the diffusal is absolutely working. He burned all their mana.
That I don't think anyone would have expected to see Gyro, the deciding game. The diffusal blade Gyro, it is perfect.
Look at his damage.
this point of the match.
He just did an insane amount of damage, front lines the entire time, and then Ana just has free reign to get all that spirit hero damage, and it's back completely the other way, and it feels like the control is just gone.
What do you do? So when your mana's gone, what do you do?
Oh my god. OG starting to take over the game completely here.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Showing new ways to play the game at this incredibly late moment in the tournament.
And now Topson has an Aghanims as well, so not only is his regular hits going to be proccing that... yeah, he's going to be burning a lot of mana.
And then just moving into the base now, OG. They're pushing in, Flag starts to force Liquid back, they'll focus Miracle. Miracle, he'll get himself out and away, the missile is out, they're trying to put the heals to save him, but Miracle's dead.
Too much damage.
Jerax is in with the combo, they'll bring down GH. GH has buyback, he'll buy back immediately. Weeha's going to be back up in 5. Fortification is popped, but OG, they're not going away.
They're too healthy. They still have greaves available for Seb as well this whole time. They're pretty, No-Tail's kind of low, but once they pop those greaves, everyone's going to be topped off.
A tier 3's going down, 22 minutes again, and in a match where it looked like Liquid had the pace to maybe bring something different, but we're back to the same place that we were in Game 2 and Game 3.
There's no stones for GH. He can't contribute anything. There's no magnetize either. They're just taking this rack.
It's gone. They cannot get close to hold this. As OG, we'll see what the plan is next. They'll back off.
They're happy with that. Why not? They can back up, clean up shrines, but I think if Liquid chases out, OG can definitely just turn to look for the fight. They have no cooldowns that they're waiting on. Everything is available for them, and they're just so farmed right now at this point in the game that Liquid, they're walking out together, but like I was mentioning before, there's one stone on GH, and that is it. So his team fight potential, and he's pretty much the only team fighter on the side of Liquid right now, is just not there.
And OG's ready to go back and again. jerax in with a wrap around the combo down onto mind control. The cooldown's there. Liquid out to back off. Again, mind control's man. Pretty much got. He's able to pop the stick, get the GA off at least. Can they fight for the duration of it though? They're getting towards Seb. Wheels the pop. Seb's back pretty much up to full. jerax in with another combo onto We Are. We Are stunned up. We Are dead. Miracles the new focus. The missile followed through. OG pushing Liquid back to the base. Mind control out of topson with his diffuser blade, picking them apart. Roll 4 for GH for Seb. Cuts him down. Chakram. Double kill. They're pushing on OG. Liquid getting forced back to the base as Liquid have nothing. They have nothing to offer, folks.
They're just giving, look at this, they're diving Fountain in TI Finals. They want kuroky in the Fountain as well. They're gonna get him, they're chasing Miracle as well. Oh my God.
I can't believe this. I can't believe what we're seeing in this Game-4. OG, you thought you saw it all in Game 2, you thought you saw it all in